Hi, everyone. This is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and I'm excited to be with you this evening. I know this was totally unplanned. I got a clear in my schedule at the last minute, and so I thought I would jump on and be with you guys this evening. I'm going to be talking about some astrological events that are coming up in July and kind of hopefully get you some heads up on that. And hopefully get you some answers about kind of how to plan or how to work around some of these. So let me kind of just explain who I am. My name is Ruth Theresa. I own my own company called One Inspiring Woman. I'm an intuitive master psychic here in the Sugar Land area, and that's just outside of Houston, Texas. I'm able to tap into my abilities to assist my clients from around the world to receive messages from loved ones who have passed, or to connect to their guardian angels, or to just get them a little bit more details from the other side. And let's see. So before we get started, I thank you for joining me tonight. I so enjoy being with you guys and supporting my business. If you like my content, please subscribe and hit the subscribe bell, and so you can be notified when I post new videos. You can also like and share and comment on them. And during this live event, I ask you to join me and really ask me some good questions about our astrological events that are coming up in July for all of us. I will also be doing some angel cards to kind of give us a little bit deeper insight. So make sure you're posting your questions. I'm so excited to be with you guys this evening. So one of the things that I have found out that kind of comes up a lot in my business, starting kind of like the end of June, going all the way to the beginning of August, and it's all throughout July. So it's almost like 5.5 weeks or so, is that there happens to be always a lot of jealousy that comes up. And I know why, but it's one of those, like, it comes up for different people in different ways. And that's where I'm kind of like, you never know how it's going to pop up for somebody. But one of the interesting parts is that this jealous energy comes in. And so just kind of being aware of that, there has a lot to do with, we always have Mars kind of doing some energy at this point. We have Leo, which is kind of that lion, but also think about like a lion in like Africa, just walking around and kind of like, look at me, I'm beautiful, that sort of thing. So you kind of have like that kind of energy coming in. And then you've got this Mars, this god of war, very masculine energy. And then you also, right about the same time, you have Venus coming in with this love and kind of like, what do I want to bring into people? What do I want to add to people's lives? So that all just starts coming about in July, and it kind of slides into August, but usually by the beginning of August, this jealousy is kind of slowed down a little bit. So let's get you some dates. So July 1st, so as of today, Mars is in Leo, and it's kind of in opposition to Saturn in Aquarius. And this can kind of bring up impulsive aspect, and it could kind of accidentally, or kind of almost like accidentally on purpose, the way I kind of feel about it, is reveal some hidden issues, some things that have been like hidden underground, or things that you didn't really want to show through. That's going to start showing through, and that's like today and tomorrow kind of energy. So you're going to feel that. So let me pull a card for this. And this one is all about abundance. So one of the things I get with this card with abundance is people start seeing that, and that may kind of bring up some of this jealousy energy, but it also kind of brings up, am I doing what I need to be doing? Am I doing what I want to bring into my life? And that's kind of the interesting part about this. So kind of the abundance of like, what am I bringing into me? What am I wanting to bring into my life? Let's see. Let's see. On the 3rd, we have Mars in Leos, and it squares to Uranus in Taurus. And so Mars, we still got that warrior energy out there. And it's really its home sign of Leo, kind of like this really strong energy. And kind of Uranus is like that hippie child of just kind of like whatever comes about, that's what we're going to deal with, one thing at a time. Here comes here it goes. And so that's going to be kind of bringing like a violent aspect, or kind of like this turmoil aspect, I would say, more than anything else, that could bring up like obstacles or accidents. So it's something to be aware of. And it's one of those, if you're not really careful, this is something that can kind of overwhelm you at times. Especially Mars in the sign of Leo can be very overwhelming in this aspect. So let's pull an angel card. Hello, Miss Courtney. How are you doing? I'm glad that y'all are with me today. I am so excited. So this one is all about like emerging energy. This coming up on the 3rd is kind of like this emerging energy of like what is coming in, what do we want to show off, how do we want to show it around to people. That's important. And that can also bring in a lot of Uranus energy, as it's kind of like Uranus is kind of like whatever's coming about, this is where I want to be, this is what I want to do. And that can be really fun and exciting, but it can also bring up, like I said, these obstacles that you hadn't really thought about. So then let's go move to July 5th, and we've got the sun in the sign of Cancer, and that's sextile to Uranus and Taurus. And these are going to kind of bring some like almost like shaking or like sudden movements in the home area. So this could kind of reveal some hidden truths, some things that you have wanted to say, but you haven't really said, or things that you want to bring up, but you really, really haven't taken care of that. So it's one of those, hi, Miss Lauren. Hi, Melina. It's a pretty name. Those are kind of just some extra energies for most of us. It's kind of like this energy is coming through. And what I get with like July 5th is the card of romance. And so this comes in to kind of like, we've been holding on to like these deep-seated feelings of buried truths of like, we like someone or we don't like someone, or it's one of those, we have a pull or yin and yang pull with them. And romance is talking about like just speaking your truth. What do you want to speak to that person, or what do you want to get off your chest with that person? Let's go into July 6th. And July 6th really comes in, we've got Mercury in Gemini. And at this time, remember that Mercury is still in retrograde. It's still in retrograde until the night of the 7th, going into the night of the 8th. And it's kind of square to Neptune in Pisces. And this is going to bring up miscommunications, misunderstandings, kind of like text messages that you sent that don't quite make sense, or someone takes it the wrong way and you're kind of like, wait, that's not what I expected. So that's going to come up on the 6th. So be really careful. And it's one of those, this could be something that kind of brings up kind of like, I knew they didn't really like me, or something like that. And it's not really a truthful one, but it's one of those, it's like you're jumping to conclusions. You're jumping to things that haven't really been spoken yet, but know that that's coming out. Hi guys, how are y'all doing? So it's one of those, let's see, we've got some things that we could kind of make this Mercury Neptune kind of squareness make a little bit easier, is kind of asking for clarity. When someone texts you something or asks you to do something or whatever it is, make sure that you are asking for that clarity. Make sure that you're asking for that that energy, kind of like, okay, I think we said this, or I'm clarifying that we're doing this. I'm clarifying that this is something that I want. This is clarifying that something that I want to bring out into the world. So that's kind of like a really good thing always with communication, is making sure that you're getting that clarification with things. Next, on the 6th, we also have Venus in the sign of Leo, and that's in opposition to Saturn and Uranus and Aquarius. This can be a little bit of a struggle, and it's almost like a juggling act, kind of like everything's coming at you at once. And that's kind of more that Venus Leo and then that Saturn Aquarius energy. Make sure that you take one thing at a time, and take your time. It's okay to kind of say, hey, I'm overwhelmed. Give me a few minutes to get going. So that's just something that we can kind of be mindful of. I think a lot of times people think that we need to really like go at someone else's pace, like, oh, my boss wants me to do this. You can still take some time to yourself. You can still add that energy. And this one comes up with the card of meditation. So even if that's just a few minute meditation of just like, what's coming up next? where do I need to go next? What is calling my attention? What do I need to deal with next? So this is a really good card of just kind of taking a few moments to yourself and getting your energy straight. And where do I need to go next? What is coming up next? Next, we're going to go into July 8th. And this is Venus in the sign of Leo is squared to Uranus in Taurus. And this combination can bring up some surprises in relationships and your relationship with your money. So it's one of those, you may think, hey, I thought I had an extra 20 in there and it's not there. Or I thought I only had a 20 in there and now I have 40. So it's going to bring up some surprises in relationships. And most importantly, surprises in your relationship with money. Relationships that may not be always welcomed or kind of always honoring of you. So make sure that you are being very cautious or careful with that energy. It can be really important to kind of take your time when you're dealing with all kinds of energy out there, especially in your money. With this one, I pulled the card of nature. It's really important. I've had several conversations today alone about money. So one of the things I think is really interesting is people always think of money having like no energy of itself. We deal with money because that's our exchange here and that's what we choose. But I could gift something to you and you could gift something to me in return. And that would make a balance of energy as well. Money is just a balance of energy. So when you kind of think about it like that, it kind of makes it better, but make sure that you're staying in balance with your money. One of the other things that I think is really important that people don't understand about money is when you ask for something, I was at the fabric store today, and that's where I was. And I was picking up some stuff, and I was chatting with one of the ladies there. You know, I talk to everybody everywhere. And we were chatting about things, and we were talking about things. And she said, it's always interesting because people will ask, can you add 1/4 of a yard of the material, but not charge me for it? And she was like, no, I have to charge you for what you get. And I was like, those people are out of balance with their, possessions. They're out of balance with their abundance. They're out of balance with nature. If you're asking for something that is not for you, or if you're asking for something that's more than what you should get, there should be a balance of money in there. There should be a balance of something that's going on in there, and not just going, hey, I want you to give this to me for free, but I'm not going to give anything back to you. So that's where we need to be in balance with what's going on around us. The more we're in balance, the better and more often money is going to come and visit us. Let's go to our new moon in the sign of Cancer. And this is going to be a really intense lunation of the moon. It's going to encourage us to kind of stay at home, and you may feel like that, like, I just don't want to go out. I don't really want to do anything, or I want to, stay home and do a pedicure myself, or whatever it is. Like, you're going to feel that draw to kind of stay close to home and really focusing on yourself. This may be a good time that you start something new, or kind of start a new series, or start a new book series, or kind of something else that you're going to bring up new and interesting just for you. So it's really interesting to kind of understand that is coming up on July 9th of this really hard, intense lunation of our new moon in the sign of Cancer. And this one is popping forward. This could be, it comes in with friendships. So it could be that we have some old friends that we end up calling to or reaching out to instead of going out and doing something new. Or this could be some new friends that we're reaching out to, but it's kind of a reaching out to friends and kind of listening and keeping that balance again with what's going on, letting them talk and then you talk as well. Sometimes it's hard when you have a new relationship where you haven't found that balance yet, but find your balance in your relationship as well. So on July 11th, we have Mercury that enters the sign of Cancer, and this is going to be for the next 3.5 weeks or so. We are going to have Mercury in the sign of Cancer, and we're going to kind of trade our sensitivity of our energy and communication. This is going to bring up more emotions and kind of our intuitive side. So we're going to kind of hear a lot more people say, I have a gut feeling about this, or I feel this in my gut, kind of or I feel like this is what I need to be led to do. So that's something really important to kind of keep in track. And then make sure that you're like not just listening to someone's words, kind of like are their words coming through? Are their words like, is their face and their energy reflecting what they're telling you, or is there an off balance in that? It's one of those, that's kind of a great way to kind of like balance the energy and kind of bringing up this power. But I get the card power with this, and this is all about taking your own power back. When we're sensitive, it's just kind of, we're allowing our energy to come up, and that's a good thing, but keeping it in track, kind of like I'm allowing the energy to interact with me, but then I can also set boundaries and limitations and power with that, kind of allowing that energy. So Jacqueline is asking a question about court. It's one of those, I don't answer questions on this. If you wanted to set up a private reading with me, Jacqueline, we could do something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like balance should be coming back in during that time frame on the 7th, because that's what we were talking about, kind of rebalancing your energy. But it's one of those, is it truly a full balance of that energy? That's where you have to kind of figure that one out on your own. Let's see. Let's talk about July 12th. July 12th, Mercury is in the sign of Cancer, and that's going to be a really strong one. And that's going to trine with Jupiter in Pisces. So we're going to have a really great day. This is a great day to kind of plan things that are coming out, things that we're going to want to do over the next few months. This is a great day to make plans for traveling, study, new classes, kind of what's new and different that you want to do or try, what's new and different that you want to do in the world. And that's, I would say, like a really good day to kind of plan your schedule, kind of like, what do you want to come about? How do you want this to come about? That's going to be a really interesting one. And with that one, I pull the card Surrender and Release. This is a really powerful card because it's one of those things that you can't really take care of. That's what you want to like let go of. Anything that you can't have control over, you're going to have to let that go at some point. And that's the really cool part, which means you have the power. If you're holding on to an outcome that is unrealistic, that's going to hold on to that. It's not going to let it go. It's not going to let it intensify. It's not going to make it come through any faster. If you're not in balance, it's not going to work out for you guys. Let's see. Next, we have on July 14th, we have Pallas going into retrograde in the sign of Pisces. And this is going to happen over, I think, the next 3.5 months. It's a very uncomfortable position for this asteroid of wisdom, as in retrograde, the emotional depths of Pisces could lead to feelings of insecurity and frustration. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. And because it's a minor asteroid, it still affects people. It's far enough out that it's going to affect things globally, but it's one of those, it's going to affect like how people deal with things. And you may feel kind of like, I don't have all the answers I need, or I'm not getting everything I need in part of this. So just know that that's part of the answer, is to release to that. I get with this one, the card of miracles. This is a great thing to kind of, when we don't feel secure all the time, or we feel frustrated, sometimes it pushes us to bring that balance into us and kind of bring that energy to us, and which will almost feel like it's a miracle. It's like, wow, I feel like I'm really grounded in this, or I feel like I'm really doing well in this. So make sure that you're taking advantage of Pallas in retrograde. So let me pause for just a second, and I'm going to give y'all some dates. So let's see. Next week, July 8th, I will be interviewed by 2 of my Psychic 202 students. They will be in the house with me. I am so excited about them. They've got working on their questions, and hopefully maybe one of their questions that they're asking me isn't a question that you need answered as well. You never know with those. And then starting next week, I've got 2 Psychic 202, 101 classes. I've got one online, and then I've got one starting in the classroom. And like I said, that starts next week. I'm really, really excited about those 2 classes. I have a couple of young ladies that are going to be in the house with me, and we are going to be learning about psychic ability. So if you're interested, you can head to my website at www.ruththeresa.com. So that's always a fun one for you guys. If you're interested, let me know. Let's go back to our astrological events in July. And this one is on the 15th of July. We've got our sun in Cancer, in the sign of Cancer, and that's trining to Neptune in the sign of Pisces. This is going to bring up like this nurturing combination that can give us like compassion, empathy, sympathy, make us feel more comforted, make us feel more protected. And that is always a good sign. The card I pulled for this is children. And it's one of those, I understand that most children feel very protected when they're around their parents. And that's what this energy is going to give us on the 15th, kind of adding that energy to what we're already doing. But it's going to make us kind of feel like we're protected, like we're back home with our parents in a very protective environment, and kind of feeling safe and sound. That's always a great one. Okay. Also on July 15th, we have Citron going into retrograde in the sign of Aries. This is going to be really kind of intense for a lot of people, very powerful. And then it's going to kind of shift our focus towards healing, like emotional wounds, things that we've kind of put off to the side or kind of pushed down for a while. You're going to have that kind of more coming up. And actually, as it starts to leave, it's going to be in retrograde, I want to say like 2.5 months, if I remember correctly. One of the things that's really important is you're going to have like this self-love of kind of like, a lot of times we are our own worst critic, and we talk bad about ourselves so much of like, you should have been able to do this better. You should have been able to do that better. And that is so hard and frustrating for most of us. So just know that this is a time where you can kind of add that self-love and like, I did the best I could with the knowledge and information that I had at the time. That's the best way to deal with it. With this one, I get a lot of blessings. Like I said, this is kind of bringing in a lot of self-love that we personally have been denying ourselves. Things that we should have gifted ourselves and we never gifted to ourselves. So understand that this is something that's really important, that we should be gifting to ourselves. Self-love is something that so many times we expect other people to gift to us, and it's something that we should really gift to ourselves. And then once we do, it opens it up for everybody else to bring in that for us. So I think that's the really cool part in Citron going into retrograde. Let's see. On the 17th of July, we have our sun in the sign of Cancer, and that's in opposition to Pluto in Capricorn. And also remember that Pluto is in retrograde during this time frame. This is kind of happens once a year. It's kind of like, this is the way it happens. It's going to bring in and open up some really bountiful doors of success and abundance, as long as we don't bring in our jealousy. One of the things that so many people think of is jealousy is just like a negative energy. It's almost, I'll have to do a video on this to kind of explain all of jealousy. I've done one, but I feel like there's more to say about it. Jealousy comes in for so many people. They're jealous of something, or someone else is jealous of them. And it's like, I don't understand why they're jealous of me, or why is this happening? It's kind of just an understanding of jealousy can get the best of us and really kind of jade or take over the way that we're seeing our world. And that can make it really, really interesting to not be able to let things go. But if you're holding on to jealousy, that really doesn't allow your success and your abundance and the fun things that are supposed to be coming to you. You're kind of like pushing it away. Let's go to July 19th. And Vesta goes in, enters the sign of Libra. And this is going to be focusing on partnerships, all types of partnerships, friends, business partners, marriages. All partnerships are going to be affected by this one. And this is kind of, and it could also be part of a collective group. So if you're in a group of people, this could also bring this in. And it could kind of forge some stronger bonds, kind of bringing in better, healthier energy, not only for you, but the other people in the group as well. So that's always like a super positive. But make sure that you're kind of allowing those bonds to come in and take over. And I get new love, not necessarily a new love, but it's one of those, I feel like this is like a new love for the group and a new love coming in for each of the people in the group, of like loving not only themselves, but loving the group as a whole, as everybody's different opinions that come in, everybody coming in with their own thoughts, ideas, and suggestions are going to be really, really powerful. Let's go to Mercury in the sign of Cancer, and that's going to sextile Uranus in Taurus. And this is July 20th. This energy is going to be kind of very stimulating. It's going to bring up conversations, things that you thought like, oh, this is an interesting conversation. Or I never thought I'd be talking to someone else about this, but here we are talking about it. That's a really great thing. And it's going to go really, really deep, kind of beyond, not just like the chit chat. It's going to bring it deep down inside and kind of like what is coming up for myself, what's coming up for them, how can I honor what's coming up for them. And you may hear some new information or new ideas or a new point of view that you've never, ever, ever thought about before. So know that like just listening to the other person and just kind of opening your mind to that can bring in some amazing insight, not only to you, but it can also bring it into them as well. As you say something, it'd be like, wow, I've never thought that before. I've had many conversations like that where I'm just like, that has just been amazing to learn that information from someone else. So know that that's really, really amazing. Let's move on to July 20th, and that means that Venus enters the sign of Virgo. While it's not easy for Venus to go into the sign of the perfectionist, it's one of those, Venus is already kind of like that perfectionist energy, and then it goes into Virgo, which is even more perfectionist, and so that can be really hard, and we can be a little bit harsh on ourselves. But make sure that you are opening yourself up to love and money, and practical kind of things. What do you want to do? Let's see. Venus is all about money and abundance and love. And so bringing that in, and it's going to be really critical for all of us to kind of open to that energy and kind of not be so harsh, so we can really get some good insight and some new ideas coming forward. With this one, I get the card Truth and Integrity. We do want to say our truth. We do want to hold, let me take a sip of water. We do want to add our truth to this. We do want to add our voice to it. So understand that it's about truth and integrity. What am I feeling? Giving that a voice and making sure that we are honoring ourselves and honoring the energy that's around us. That's a really, really important one during this time frame with both Venus in the sign of Virgo is going to be really powerful. So know that that's a really great aspect for all of us. Let's see. July 22nd, we have the sun entering the sign of Leo. This is kind of its ruling energy. It will be there for the next 4 weeks. So this is going to take us almost all the way through August. And it's a very playful, bold, kind of very preening energy. Kind of, you may think like, I need a new hairstyle, or I need a new shirt, or I need a new makeup or something like that. It's going to kind of make us feel like we need to kind of like show ourselves off, kind of just like, let me shine myself up. And this is a really, like I said, very playful energy, and treating ourselves is a really fun thing. I think taking time during that time frame, a new shirt or new shopping spree, whatever that is going to bring in a lot of fun and energy to us. And it also brings in a lot of self-acceptance, which is the card that I pulled. This is bringing kind of like allowing myself to shine, allowing myself to step forward in my own power to keep moving forward. That is the fun part of our sun in the sign of Leo. That's going to be some amazing energy. Let's go to, let's see. July 22nd. We have Venus in Virgo, and that's kind of in opposition to Jupiter in the sign of Pisces. That's right. That's what Courtney's saying. Courtney, that's what you need to be doing. You need to be amping this up, especially if you have a lot of Leo energy in your signs. This is a great time to kind of bring that out for everybody. So that's kind of a fun one. Let's see. Okay, so let's go to the 22nd. Venus in Virgo. And is in opposition to Jupiter in Pisces. This is kind of an easier transition, more of a playful one. This is one to where you can kind of cut loose and have a little bit of fun with other people. However, it's important to kind of take some time during this time frame to kind of plan, take some time to relax. If not, you can kind of wear yourself out. It's kind of like being out in the sun for too long, heat stroke or something. It's like, take some time for yourself, but bring this energy forward. This is a great time to, like I said, really, really start planning what's coming up next. Where do you want to go? What I get is the card of study. And this is kind of more, can't get the light off. Oh, there it goes. Study, kind of like, what do you want to bring in? Kind of study yourself. What do I want to bring in to myself? What do I want to study? And that could be a subject, an offshoot of something else. Like, I'm going to look into this a little bit. I'm going to do some research online. It could also be, maybe I'm going to get a book. Maybe I'm going to do a class or a conference. But opening up to that energy is really, really important. Sorry. Let's see. I'm going to slow down and take a sip. Okay, on July 23rd, we have our full moon in the sign of Aquarius. This is really kind of, this moon energy is going to kind of encourage us to follow our own drum. Kind of, where do we want to go? And that's really good right after the 22nd of kind of like making some plans. What is it that I want to draw to me? What is the energy I'm choosing to draw into me? And it's kind of unleash what you want to do. Kind of like, where would this take you? What would you like to do? Where would you like to go? What would you like to draw into you to make this energy more fun, more exciting? That's the fun part of a full moon. And if there's anything that comes up during this time frame, make sure that you're calling yourself on that. A lot of times we withhold what we want to kind of make someone else happy. And that's not really the way it's supposed to work. The card I pull is celebration. So celebrate this time and enjoy some time with friends or family and thinking about what you want to be celebrating next year at this time frame. What is it that you want to be celebrating at that time frame? What are the things that you want to draw in, the fun, exciting parts that you want to draw in? Let's move on into Mercury in the sign of Cancer, in opposition to Pluto in Capricorn. This one is going to be a little bit more intense, and this is on the 25th. This is a little bit more intense, and this is something that we're going to have to be careful of, because this could turn like words into like spurs. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like people are going to say things and you may take it the wrong way, and understanding it's like with Mercury in there, it's one of those, it could make communication more difficult, or you meant it one way and someone took it the wrong way. The best way to do is to walk away from a situation like that and then decide, like, what do I want to communicate? What is it that I needed to communicate with that person? That makes it easier, instead of the lash out, or, let me just throw all this negative energy that I have, because it's one of those, it's not them necessarily, it's you. And really think about your intention. What is your intention about talking to this person? What is it that you want to bring up, or what ideas do you want to bring forward? Have that in mind as you're communicating, and that's going to kind of direct what you want to say. Or if there's a miscommunication, take a breath. Why are they misunderstanding? So I can clear this up more easily. It makes it so much easier when we're communicating clearly with people and not messing things up. Communication can get a little awkward at times. So let's see, on July 27th, we have Mercury go into the sign of Leo. This will be over the next 4 weeks. So this one is kind of an interesting, we've got Mercury in charge of communication, and then we've got Leo kind of like this fun, entertaining, drama, kind of like let me show things off kind of energy. So, and this happens over the next 4 weeks. So what this is really interesting about is this is going to bring up more entertaining conversations, more theatrical, more drama, more fun stuff. Kind of like, let me show it off. Let me show off my wild side. This is going to be like great vibrations for everybody, kind of lifting everybody's spirit, kind of amping that up. So this is a really great time to kind of decide what you want to bring in. And this energy is really supporting us. We have had over the last few months some really strong connections with different planets, and this is a great time to know that you've still got that support on the other side, but this is the time to kind of, let's have some fun, let's do some excitement, let's do something a little different. This is a really, really fun one. Let's see, next we go into, on July 28th, we go into Jupiter retrogrades back into Aquarius. So this one, Jupiter has been jumping in and out of Pisces and Aquarius, and it finally backed up enough, and now it's back into Aquarius a little bit until it jumps out of retrograde and then comes back into the sign of Pisces. I know it sounds really complicated. It's really not. Let's see. So this is kind of a replay from last year. This is a second chance at like some unique opportunities. So some things that came up last year may come up again, so that you can work through it differently. This is kind of like a great time to kind of open up to some social causes, kind of like, where do you want to add your independence or new innovation? And the card I pulled is enchantment. And that's all about kind of like bringing this fun, innovative style to things. Like, how do you want to add this to there? Adding this, and at first it may seem really small because Jupiter is going to be in retrograde. But the really fun part is that once Jupiter jumps out of retrograde, it's going to expand and enlarge. It's going to kind of make it big and bold again. So that's going to be a really, really fun one. Okay, let's go to July 29th. We have Mars in the sign of Virgo for the next several weeks. And this is going to be an energy that's will be a little subtle. It will be steady and kind of driven, like to kind of set some goals and what do I want to do. A little bit better organization. You may have like the opportunity to redesign your desk or redesign something, and kind of like, how do I want to organize this? It could even go into like your closets. How am I going to do this? And this will bring in kind of like, what do I need to fix or change? Is there something I'm obsessing over? Something that I require letting go of. So that's going to be some really interesting energy. Virgo energy is always about making things look well, and Mars is about the strength to get it done. What I get is this is like about healing, kind of like, is there something that I'm hanging on to that I should be letting go of, that I'm ready to release? Or do I need to set some new healthy boundaries with the people around me? So that's always a good thing to keep in mind during this, the 29th or so of July. Our last one is Ceres in the sign of Gemini, and that is July 31st. As Ceres enters Gemini and will be there for several weeks, we're going to have some power struggles coming up. And I do feel like I said, it's an asteroid way, way, way out on the far side. And as far as it is, it's going to be affecting things globally. The further out they are, the more global, the closer in, the more personal issues that are going to come up. This is going to bring up some power struggles. And I do feel like this is something that's going to be on the global stage. And it's one of those, it's just kind of people talking over each other or kind of trying to one up each other. That's something kind of interesting that happens usually during this time frame. Make sure that you are sharing important information. Make sure that you are making yourself be heard, like you're allowing that to happen. Make sure that you are allowing this energy to come forward and make yourself be heard. Trust that the words that are on your heart are what you need to say. The words that you've got to speak out are most important, that you trust them, speak them out, and know that other people are listening, they're taking it intently in, and that they're going to make a change with this. So I thank you guys for joining me tonight. I'm going to go through a couple more things. Next week, July 8th, I will be interviewed by two of my Psychic 202 students here in the house. So y'all will get to join in on live. And there may be some questions that they're asking me that you have questions about as well. You never know what they're going to ask me. And then I've got two new Psychic 101 classes starting next week. One starts on Monday and one starts on Thursday. And I'm hoping the Thursday one doesn't mess up my Thursday night live too much, but I know it will affect things a little bit. So stay tuned. I thank y'all so much for joining me, and I know that we'll be talking again soon. Y'all have a great month of July. Thank you, guys.